Hello, everyone. Minasan, konnichiwa. Welcome to the online session of this year's Golden Age Expo and Summit, titled Smart Aging Innovation, Paving the Way for the Super-Aged Hong Kong from a Japanese Perspective. I am Stephanie Law, Managing Director of Culture Homes Healthcare Company and Limited, as well as Forward Living Senior Community in Hong Kong. We also have Mr. Keiji Fujimoto-san with us at the GAF headquarters with us today.
Hello.
It is with the greatest pleasure to be facilitating this panel discussion as we explore about Japan's perspective on aging and how it demonstrates the possibility for Hong Kong's roadmap ahead. Today's online session will be 1.5. Our three speakers will first share with us their valuable experience relating to the topic. We will then enter into a panel discussion. And finally, we will open to the floor for further interaction with all the audience around the world. If you have any comments or questions, please feel free to leave a note at our chat box and we can attend to it at the end of the discussion panel. First, I would also like to take this opportunity to welcome our three guest speakers who are joining with us today. Our first speaker, Mr. Tian Ye, is the APAC CEO of WHILL, which is a company with the goal of building a platform of short distance mobility. Before joining the mobility industry, Tian has over 12 years of finance, product, and business innovation experience. He was the head of China desk as HSBC, overseeing overall Chinese companies' cross-border financing solutions, leveraging on innovative financing product and ecosystem partnership. Tian transferred from a financial professional to an industrial leader and is now leading APAC business for growth stage startup. Our second speaker, Mr. Paul Ho, is the leader of Lixil Water Technology Hong Kong, LWT Greater China. He has been responsible for the sales of GROHE Pro products in Hong Kong and Macau region since 2009. Later, he introduced Inex and American Standard products to the product portfolio according to Lixil Group's development. The Lixil Group products are now integrated into a one-stop and complete sanitary ware solution, which delivers a user-oriented, sustainable, and hygiene answer to various government projects, public facilities, universities, youth hostels, and hospitals. Finally, our third speaker, Mr. Keiji Fujimoto, who is returning to GAF for the third time this time, is the Group Strategic Director of Shun Hing Group. Mr. Fujimoto began his career at Matsushita Electric Trading Company, now known as Panasonic Corporation, in 1982. During his 35 years career in Panasonic, he gained extensive experience in managing B2B as well as B2C business of local and market. In 2017, Mr. Fujimoto joined Panasonic's Hong Kong sole distributor, Shun Hing Group, as Group Strategic Director. Now, on behalf of Shun Hing Group, he dedicates himself to contribute to Hong Kong and Japan, helping to bridge both parties. Now, without further ado, I would like to welcome our first speaker, WHILL APAC CEO, Mr. Tian Ye, to share his presentation with us today.
Thank you, Stephanie. And thank you all for joining today's summit. And it is really my honor to share this idea and also the background of what kind of things a Japan company is trying to solve when we are facing the common topic of aging society nowadays. And allow me to start my presentation. And if we have any further questions afterwards, I will be very happy to share my ideas from WHILL's perspective. And thanks, Stephanie, just put it, and a great introduction of me and my company. WHILL is actually a company who is actually trying to provide mobility solutions for people who have difficulty in working. And when we're talking about the difficulty in working, people will imagine handicapped people. But nowadays, when we are facing the topic, aging society, and more people, or especially for senior citizens, that going out and enjoy a very pleasant life and social with people become a necessity for life. So how we actually help those people, especially for senior citizens, also to go out and enjoy their life for a very, very daily use tour is actually our mission, and also the kind of like things we want to contribute to the society. And that is actually real things. And before I started my presentation, here is a number. And just like I will pause for 5 seconds, just to guess what kind of things it stands for. Yeah, so this is actually the number that people over the age of 65 in Japan in 2050 is actually an estimated number that is actually been done in 10 years ago. And this number right now is kind of like increasing dramatically since like 10 years ago. And now, not only Japan, but also actually the world itself is actually facing this common problem, an aging society. And if we compare this figure, this data to Hong Kong, we will see a very, very similar trend. And Hong Kong is also enjoying this kind of like a social topic, and how to deal with those things, and what kind of specific problems we're facing when we're talking about aging society, and when we're talking about how much and what percentage of people over the age of 65. That is actually something we want to talk. And here is actually the comments and the statements from my friends, which is also the reason why we started our company in the first beginning. I want to actually share this story with you, all of you today. This is actually a boy who is actually a Japanese, who got a car accident in his youth at his 20s. And because of his working difficulties, he kind of like gradually hesitated to go out by himself. So this is actually the comments that he made before we started our company, that I've given up going to a grocery store just 2 blocks away from my home. So this is actually some hesitation for a lot of people who are enjoying kind of like difficulty in working. And especially for Japanese people, we actually sometimes that people are not likely or happily to bother people to help themselves. So we try to be independent. We try to be kind of like a more self-respective. So how we actually try to do that, we want to rely on ourselves. But sometimes when we are facing some like physical trouble, how we actually deal with that. And that is actually something hurting when we heard that comment and that statement from our friends. So we started our journey from there in 2010. And back then, in like 10 years ago, this is actually the things we had in mind when we were talking about wheelchair. And this wheelchair is actually invented in like 90 years ago. And the image of a wheelchair is something like this one. And a very, very funny thing is that smartphone or like a phone is also invented in like a similar time stage, like 90 years ago. And that appearance is like that. And when we're actually talking about a phone or something like we call today smartphone, and it's actually has already been evolved from the previous shape to the current one. And now this Apple company has become the biggest company in terms of the valuation in the world today. And what about the innovation and involved kind of like a change in terms of the wheelchair thing? Here's what it is today, as like a common image for people to imagine what kind of like wheelchair looks like. So we're thinking like, given the situation that we're facing in aging society, and for senior citizens that kind of like we're facing the similar issues in terms of like different kinds of difficulties when we are getting age. But of course, one of the biggest issue is that the working or going out, how we can be more independent and enjoy a quality life. And this is actually the number that we're investigating globally, that how many people is actually are having a difficulty in working. And when we're defining the difficulty in working is that people cannot work by themselves for over 500 meters. And this is actually a huge number that we can say, and this number is growing by years. So that will actually link to our story. And our actually company started like 12 years ago. And we started actually in a very small room. And we were actually used to be a bunch of friends who used to be the engineers in some car and design companies. And we actually kind of like started the company as like a club or like a funny group to design something funny. And so a group of young people started this kind of things just to create something very funny, like back then 10 years ago. And now our company kind of like evolved from a small engineer club to a mobility company who enjoys a mission to deliver fun and innovative mobility for all. And we would like to connect our devices to the infrastructure of ordinary cities, ordinary environment to help people to enjoy a free in mobility when they're actually going anywhere in the world. And talking specifically what kind of components we're playing in these systems, that we call ourselves the last mile solution provider in terms of the mobility. And when we are talking about traffic systems, we can, well, it's easy for us to imagine plane, bus, taxi, bicycles, and even that for young people, we can use a scooter to travel around the cities. However, our target and also the device is what is actually aiming to provide indoor and outdoor linkage, and also to kind of like focusing on the side work environment to actually to help people when they're working and when they're getting tired, and what kind of support we can do to help. And now here actually is our device and our product to bring to the world. Currently, we have two main products. We call it Model C2 and Model F. One is actually the more compact and premium one, and another one is more for affordable one and easy to carry one. And during this product development process, we kind of like imagine, although we're just a bunch of engineers, however, that what about like how using the current software and autonomous technology to enhance the product itself and enhance the user experiences to bring more fun and user-friendly experiences for people to use it. Not just like have a car to drive around, but also to have some like IoT devices, software things to enhance the user experiences. And that is actually the time when we also started the autonomous driving technology and also some Apple development for enhancing the user experiences. And here actually, I would like to share one simple application at the airport for people to enjoy the devices we're providing.
She now proceeds on her own, as no further assistance is needed from Amy or anyone else. She can stop at preset destinations, such as a restroom, coffee shop, or airline clubs on the way to the departure gate. The passenger reaches her connecting gate and exits the WHILL mobility vehicle. As the vehicle's task is now completed, it returns on its own to the disinfected and staging area to be sanitized for its next task.
It's a very short one. And the idea is that when we started our devices as like just like a product for people to purchase or to buy and to use it by themselves in their daily life, we kind of like grow from there. and to think about how we can combine ourselves together with the current ecosystems, especially for people to enjoy indoor mobility. So right now, we're also doing some autonomous taxi drive services for people to share and to use in public places, such as the airports. And one thing besides helping people to move around when they have difficulty in working, and this also will reduce the human resources cost when we also are facing another problem, that lack of human resources in the society, and replace those things at the airport and other places will also enhance the efficiency for people. And airport is one thing, and one thing that we're actually exploring. But besides that, we're also exploring the application possibility in hospital, museums, theme park, shopping mall, and convention malls. So these are things that we think that along with our mission, that we can bring a more fun mobility experiences for people to enjoy. And also that we want to bring some like colorful user stories behind our product. Right now, we have around 100,000 users globally. And lucky enough for us that the happiest part for us is to see that they're using our device to have a better and fun life when they are having the so-called senior citizen life, and or they have some like a difficulty in working, but given the use of our device, they actually are able to enjoy the life in a proper way and in a better way. And in Hong Kong, in Japan, we all have our users using our devices to explore their life in their own way. And here's Hong Kong. Even the infrastructure is very good. And so our devices is almost like free to enter indoor and outdoor environment and to have people to enjoy a better qualified life in their daily time. And this is actually the collaboration we have, and thanks to the cultural homes' help locally as the biggest local partner, it actually enhanced our device experiences and help us to explore the local market in Hong Kong and help Hong Kong people, Hong Kong customers to have the test drive and enjoy this kind of new product, innovative experiences easily. And recently, we also have actually started from this year to start the rental systems, rental service for people to enjoy, because some people feel like the purchase is relatively a high barrier for them to enjoy the product at the first beginning. However, converting purchase to rental and lower the entry barrier for people to enjoy and test the experiences of driving is another thing that we can see that we are trying to promote in both markets, in Japan and Hong Kong. And right now, our global market is expanding to over 20 countries. And in North America, Europe, and also Asia Pacific areas, that we're having different customers and different offices. And we try to bring this kind of mobilities to people who are actually enjoy these kind of like free mobility experiences in this coming aging society, and to have people to enjoy a more qualified life. And in the future, how to connect our devices together with IoT concept and being a part of the infrastructure systems and being a component in the ecosystems, and to help people, no matter for people or for goods transportation, actually all combined together, and along with the automation technology. I think the future is just at sight, and will be no kind of like will be very short in the coming future. And lastly, I would like to share some ideas in terms of the product design and how we see our product. I believe that our journey will follow the history of glasses. A long time ago, people who had a poor eyesight couldn't get married because they were actually portrayed to be had a bad DNA. And then come glasses. And that's these people could actually now live more normal lives. But still, even when I was in elementary school, kids who wore glasses were mocked at by their classmates. Why? Because glasses were just like not cool, or kind of like treated as like a handicapped function for people. But now, a lot of people wear glasses, and even they couldn't, like they don't have bad eyesight. Why? Because it looks cool, or it stands for some identity of yourself. And kind of like the long-standing negative perception of glasses at some point of time now changed to positive. And now glasses have gone beyond what they were initially created for. Wearable devices like Google Glasses and VR, AR glasses are nearing the mainstream. The glasses are no longer just a pair of lenses that improve vision. All sorts of technology are being implemented to advance the daily life. They're actually providing something normal people cannot do without it. So glasses represent a product category that has gone beyond. So back to my point, I believe personal mobility, for example, the powered wheelchair, will also follow a similar path. Today, it may not be similarly like an exciting product, but through the design and innovation, it will eventually change how even fit people experience mobility. And when we're talking an aging society, our vision or our mission is actually not being afraid of being old or being aged, but just like having more and funny and innovative products to help people to extend the qualified life and help people to more enjoy their life, no matter what age you are. That's actually the goal for our company. And thank you for all. And this is actually the presentation for now. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Chen-san, for a fabulous presentation about WHILL's philosophy. What I picked up was how to make aging more fun, enjoyable. In Japanese, we have a word saying "tanoshimi ni shiteimasu." How to really using a new mobility concept to make it into a living, and also seeing disability as possibility is something that we hope that in the future it could be really, a wheelchair could be something that is less stigmatizing and more fun. Thank you. So yes, next,
thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ken-san. So next, we will have Mr. Paul Ho to share with us about his company strategy and also something relating to our topic today.
Sorry, thank you very much. First of all, thank you very much for the foundation. And also, it is our honor to join with other speakers from Japan Technology to introduce in Hong Kong. This is our honor. So let me do it first. Actually, let me introduce a little bit about our company. Our company is Lixil. Actually, we are doing a lot of housing and also water technology in domestic market in Japan, as well as they have to extend it to merge some fittings and also ceramic company like Goha, American Standard. So this is our group. We are selling the product in no matter Hong Kong and also overseas market. So first of all, I think being old is no choice. It's unavoidable. But how about the Japanese talking about the old? I think that a lot of drama and also movie, they do pay respect for the elderly in Japan because they do contribute a lot to their society. I think this is the same philosophy also in Hong Kong. The people get old, but they are not actually not too old, but they still maybe have a good health, and also they can contribute to the Hong Kong and also to the society. So actually, for some survey we are doing in Japan, actually how the old people or elderly people, where they want to stay for their elderly life, most of them will choose to go back to their home. So that's why in Tokyo, a lot of people is working. But after the retirement, they go back to their hometown, right? This is, I think this is norm in Japan. But of course, in Hong Kong, we do not have our hometown. Actually, we just want to go back to our home rather than go to the elderly center. I think this is also the same philosophy and same thinking here. And also, when we have to enjoy our life, retire life in our home, where is the most dangerous place? Of course, the toilet. The toilet room is the most dangerous way, because it is wetty, and also in Hong Kong, our apartment is relatively very small, and also in somehow there's a lot of dangerous obstacle around us. So that's why when we read the news every day, there's quite some accident every day is about come from the bathroom. So if the bathroom will become, and also our apartment, our residence is become the major occasion to get the accident. So how can we do this? So I think that when we get old, there's no choice. Our body will not good as before. Especially maybe we are not so the agility. That means we how to overcome sudden accident to come with us is unavoidable to become more worse. So with what do we need? And also when we get old. So our company also thinking about the aging society, because a lot of people, every society will getting some aging. And also everybody want to have their home caring and how to avoid the accident. This is what we think about the new aging society need. And of course, I think Hong Kong people is similar to Japanese people. That is, don't make a burden. Don't make a burden, no matter to your family member and also as well as the society. This is what most of the Hong Kong people today think about. Don't bother others, even if their son and daughter. So our company, of course, is to improve the living and also with the life. So this is our not slogan, it is our mission. So I think that we want to some introduce those Japanese technology into Hong Kong. In our R&D center in Japan, actually, they have doing a lot of research how to make the elderly feel more better life, especially when they have muscle become weaker, and also how to make it more safe. Every day, our team in Japan is doing such thing. And also we have also the planning book. It is for the designer and also the architect, because I think in Japan, unlike Hong Kong have some special regulation, but in Japan is they do it maybe to educate the architect and also the designer. When we have such a conclusion and also findings, we do a lot of the sharing with the those influencers in Japan. So that's why in Hong Kong, we also for those year, we like to share our vision and also ideas, such as today. We want to share with the relevant party to improve how to make the Hong Kong elderly people feel more better for their retirement life. So actually for people itself, I think when we get old, we have to be a successful person before, but now we become dependent. So I think they need some respect. If they do not have a respect, and also they feel that the dignity, not cannot caring, this is what the most old people concern. That means they can work, they can make their life independently. This is most of the elderly people want. I think this is the same as Japanese and also the Hong Kong people. So for our design, of course, our design is a universal design. That means, of course, something is not only for elderly, but of course for the whole family member. Because in Hong Kong, I think that most of the cases, because just like I said before, the people in Hong Kong, they may live very closely to their son and daughter, to their family member. And of course, they will have a lot of friends all together. So that our product may be not saying that it is only for elder, but you can fitting for every friends and also every family member, especially if in Hong Kong, if you can to stay and also live with your elderly member, it is a good idea for us. So that's why, how do Lixil transfer this philosophy to be a reality or to be a product? So I want to share with you about the video. Sorry. The product is like just you like when you're seeing that is like a shower and also as a bath. Actually, you can see that from the video, there's some ladies, two ladies, and one is younger, one is an elderly lady. They can use the same device together because this our shower product is called a shower bath. It can allow you to take a bath in the wheelchair, and also you can also standing in front of the shower system. Actually, why this product is good? Because it allows you to keep your body temperature in such a same temperature. That means you feel, because when you take a bathing in the bathtub, actually it is I can say the water wasting is too much. But for this product, maybe for 1 minute, you can maybe use just 9 liters of water, but your body temperature is keeping in maybe 45, or even if you want hotter, maybe you can get 50 degrees Celsius to keep your body feel more comfortable. And actually, Japanese culture is like that. The spa is an enjoyment. It makes you feel more relaxing and also to get all your tired away. This is what we think about. This is a good product or a good philosophy to introduce for Hong Kong elderly people, as well as if they have another family member, they can use same system altogether. So that's why this product, we have the safety temperature lock. That means it won't hurt the people, no matter if it's young people or even like children. And also it allows you to have a wheelchair together to enjoy with your showering. So I think that this product is not new. It's not new. I think around maybe 5 or 7 years already imported Hong Kong, but not so many people using in their home. But I think that this is also a good product for the elderly center, and also for the maybe some people, if they can install in their home, will be a good idea to enjoy their showering. And another product is e-bidet. Actually, e-bidet, I think it is also in somehow is a very old product in Hong Kong. If you have a chance to go to Japan, they say that maybe 90% or over 95% of the domestic are using the e-bidet. Actually, why e-bidet is good? Because it allows you to have a self-cleaning. That means you just feel very easily to push the button, and then you can just clean all your waste together. And also you have the dry air. That means it is quite comfortable. And also for the, I don't know, maybe when I get an 90 years old, I have feel very, very hard to turn around my body. But this one, every day, you can just simply to just lift up your body every time when you go to the toilet. This is also what we want to introduce in Hong Kong. Actually, I think that for this everyday, maybe for a long time ago, this is only for someone who loves the Japanese culture. But I think it is about the health product and also to improve the quality of life, especially for the elderly. So the last one, the product is about is our towels. It's called EcoCare. What special features we have? Actually, these towels is made in Japan, and also the towels consist of some materials. It can absorb some bad smell, and also the humidity can be also some wet air altogether. Because especially in Hong Kong, I think that just this week or last 2 weeks, we feel very, very hot. It is not about the temperature itself, but also the humidity. Normally, Hong Kong will be over 80% humidity every day. So our towels can also to control the humidity and also control the bad smell. When I cannot say old people will have some smell, but at least this is true that if we can control and also improve the total air quality in the apartment, it will be also a good, because just like what I said, it won't make the family member feel something not good to live to operate with elderly people. So I think that this is our product design, from our product design to become the reality, to become we introduce it in Hong Kong as a product. So those products actually, just like Ken said, is already in Hong Kong. So I think that I think the most important is do we have the choices? Do we have the choices to enjoy our elderly life? I think this is the key message. The Japanese market showing that they have the choice, and also they are very enjoying their retired life and also their elderly life. I think this is what we are going to share with you today.
Thank you, Mr. Paul Ho, for his insightful sharing today. Lixil, as one of the biggest construction material companies, has offered a lot of solutions, not only talking about barrier-free, but also universal design. Also, as Mr. Ho just said, choice are really important for elders to choose when they get old. Also, in order to facilitate this, I believe that policies and government support is very important. So in the next session, I would like to introduce to you all our last speaker, actually Fujimoto-san. Hello, yes. And Fujimoto-san, in this 15-minute session, I would like to have a chit-chat style of discussion with you to understand your views about Japan's super aging situation, as it is very important for Hong Kong to understand what we will be facing in a super age society. So in today's topic, we talked about super age. By definition, a super age society is when our elder population over 65 years of age has exceeded 20% of our total population. For Hong Kong in 2021, we are at 19%. So we are just almost 1% away from being into a super age society. And Japan actually has led a super age society for more than 15 years ago. So today, I believe that it is a good golden opportunity for us to have some insights from Fujimoto-san. So next, I would like to share our screen on some of the sharing slides that we will be talking about.
Thank you.
So first, Fujimoto-san, as formally introduced earlier, is the group's strategic director of Shun Hing, and also he's a great influencer to bridge Hong Kong and Japan collaborations and facilitating government policies. In the past, as you can see in the slide, he has shared in many major forums and summits, including Invest Hong Kong, LSCM, and also he has shared twice in the GAF community. So welcome back again to the GAF Summit. So next, when we think about what Hong Kong is facing, On the right corner,
yeah.
Is this the one? Oh, we're missing a slide.
Yeah, we can keep the, yeah.
Okay. In terms of the aging rate comparison, in 2035, 32% of Japanese will be 65 years above, while 29% of Hong Kong people will be 65 years and above.
Sorry. Oh, sorry.
Maybe we will come back with the technical slides again. Yes.
Page 2, page 1, sorry.
So next we're going to talk about the similarities in aging for both Hong Kong and Japan.
Grant, page 1. Yeah, okay. Well, thank you very much for introducing me.
Yes.
So I'm very honored to be here today. So to the given theme, I think I'm only one Japanese here, but I'm very proud to share my idea. But compare with great presentation from Paul and Tien, WHILL and Lixil, I think my time to share about my ideas, maybe I think that big company and a great company like a WHILL and Lixil, I think they are doing and can accelerate development of those global elderly care in a business by themselves. But in my sections, I really like to share with you what is my observation. I'm living in Hong Kong 5 years now, and then from the Japanese perspective or viewpoint, what I can think about, how do I feel about what is necessary, what we can do more, that I really like to share with you today. So if you have some question, would you please share with me?
Yes. So Hong Kong and Japan has shared a lot of similarity in aging, such as our heavy, aging rate, but a lower birth rate. So next, we are going to share a slide about some commonality topics, the two places shared. So Keiji-san, so what are the commonalities and how can Hong Kong take the opportunity to capture technology development with our Japanese counterparts?
Yeah, so first, commonality. I think I don't have to explain so in detail to you because you already know Hong Kong people really like Japan in this 2 years, 3 years, especially out of 7.4 population in Hong Kong, visitor to Japan every year, 2.3 million people. So almost 1 to 3, people, can visit and experience Japan life. And also we are, number 1, number 2 in aging society, Hong Kong, Japan. And also we are, we have the same, culture in Asia. We eat rice and we use a chopstick. And then, as I said that now in Hong Kong, I think most of the audience, I think that Hong Kongers, as you know that Japanese food is very, very popular in spite of under COVID-19. And then Hong Kong can be the 17 years consecutive #1 destination from Japan too. So we have a lot of commonality there. But at the same time, to get more attention from Japan, to get more opportunity to Japanese technology, I think first we need to motivate Japanese company to come to Hong Kong more. Like I'm talking about small and medium companies. But based on that, if we can do that, still we can have some challenge. As you can see that we really need to understand, maybe I know Hong Kong people's strengths more than Hong Kongers, maybe. As you can see on the slide, global sense, and you can speak many different languages, and you are very accustomed to deal with different kind of races in Hong Kong, and then you can deal with England, Europe, and America, at the same time, China. This is a great opportunity and a great, capability. At the same time, Japan, I think you like Japanese, products and technology, but at the same time, if you think about the other ways, because of Japanese people, some stubbornness, I think Japanese people sometimes like, German in Asia. So, but because of that, we can create the good products, safety, and the confidence, and good technology. But this is, we have pros and cons. But making more collaboration, I think I have visited many different countries in the past, but I don't know any other country like Hong Kong really loves Japanese products, Japan too. So how we can collaborate? We are now stage one. We just started importing those Japanese equipment for elderly care, starting from 2015, 16, 17. But then now we are stage one, and then we need to go to stage two to show our roadmap, Hong Kong necessity, and then need to collaborate with them to make more custom to fit to Hong Kong. Then third stage, if we can create more platform, that's really we can get a very pinpoint, effective way to Hong Kong society first. I think that this is a way I think we can do more, better, collaborate. Yes.
Yes, and I also observed that Hong Kong government has also supported a lot of drone technology development, and a lot of these policies are based on Japanese references in the past, such as rental of drone tech products and also technology implementing into the care homes. But I know that many Japanese companies may think that Hong Kong market is very small and hence are not willing to enter. Maybe we can also share a little bit about the drone tech report from 2017 and see what does Keiji-san has to say about this.
The reason why I pick up this chart, as I said, Japanese people are sometimes very stubborn, but like German people, we really like to think about logically, many of people. So this chart, coming from our foundation, Hong Kong, and HKCSS landscape, I think this is a great, map to show what do we need more at this moment from the right side, and then 2017, the pleasant situations, demand side, supply side, where we would like to go for. But in detail, if you have a chance, would you please see this, landscape report? You can find out what really Hong Kong like to do, go for in the future. So showing this kind of, the point we really need as a user, I think Japanese people can easily come to Hong Kong, then support us more, then do more collaborations. Mm-hmm. Yes. Maybe I think we can go to the next step, then we can talk about it more. Yeah. This is a very funny, map. I think most of the Hong Kongers already understand the upper side, but the reason why I created this chart, most unfortunately, most of those Japanese people in Hong Kong, experts, they need to have some rotation program. They need to be on some rotation program. They stay in Hong Kong 3 and 4 years, and they need to go to some different countries, go back to Japan. So it's very difficult for them to understand deeply about Hong Kong situation, Hong Kong structure in society. So therefore, I created this upper part, and then of course, showing the reason on the right side, as many people already talk about it. So then the point for this one, many people said that Hong Kong market is very small, so therefore we cannot put the resources. But however, Hong Kong is very lucky now. On the right side below, as you can see that we are surrounded by Greater Bay Area now. Greater Bay Area, it can provide a lot of business chance very aggressively. Now more than 70 million, maybe 80 million population, and GDP 170 trillion Japanese, maybe 200 now. So I think I always tell that don't think Hong Kong is a very small market. You can enjoy the good merit part of Hong Kong. Hong Kong is small. Therefore, you don't have to invest a lot of money from the beginning. At the early stage, you can just try and error, and then taste the business is going well or not. And then after that, you can also go to the Greater Barrier. And then I'm talking to Japanese government in Hong Kong, and then also together with Hong Kong government, if they can think about some special program for Greater Barrier people and the people area, we can start using Hong Kong spec products, then can immediately be export and do the business in Greater Barrier the same way without changing any spec. Then that's really provide a great chance and give more motivation to Japanese people on the right side, Invest Hong Kong, DDC, trying to do a lot of good job and then to motivate just Japanese people. But we need one more thing. Number 7. Currently, as you can see, not only Japan, we have a Ukraine-Russia war, and also, decoupling between China and the US, and also big, foreign currency fluctuation. So Japan, most of Japanese people, I need to say that, we are living in island. So island. So therefore, basically, most of the people do not have a chance to deal with foreign countries, people and business. We are not accustomed to deal with a big risk. So therefore, I think if we can provide like this 7 business platform that pervades the Hong Kong society, as far as we can tell them, as far as you have a good products, then you can come to Hong Kong, rely on this platform, and then you don't have to concern about maybe, would you please go to the number 5? Yeah, how to solve this problem? Business chance. If they have a good products, they don't have to worry about safety standard. We can guide them, and then they don't have to worry about rent, house rate, office rent, and then about labor problem, and then we can also guide them in a marketing. So I think we will have this kind of a platform and a good partner, and more easier for those small and medium companies to come to Hong Kong. Yeah, then I think, Stephanie, I think if we can have more like a Japanese food, we can make more profitable some business model for them, they will like to come to Hong Kong more.
Yes, I totally agree with Fujimoto-san, because many people say that Hong Kong is a springboard into China. And today, what Fujimoto-san has shared with us is that Hong Kong, when we talk about gerontechnology or the future of aging, we do not only consider Hong Kong on its own, but we can also be broader to include the GBA population, because at the end, a lot of the users, they have shared similar experience, similar cultural background, and similar product demand. So this is also a very good note for us to build into a business platform between Hong Kong and Japan, and also a more encompassing ecosystem.
Yeah.
So my question is that it seems that Hong Kong is a good market for collaboration. Do you think that Hong Kong, we can utilize our strength to tackle the upcoming gerontech opportunities?
Yeah, I think so. Would you please go back to the number 2? Slide 2, yeah. Slide 2, yeah. As I explained to you, slide 2, Hong Kong has a lot of strengths, and Japan also has a good part. But if we can collaborate more, Japan also can think that Hong Kong and Hong Kong people is the best partner for Japanese company to be globalized. So if we can share this idea, they can come to Hong Kong and then develop and then brush up their products to make their products as global products.
Mm-hmm.
I think Lixil and WHILL already are doing this. I think really admire that. It's really good. But we have a lot of middle small companies in Japan. You can really enjoy it, as you already know by the trip to Japan. So by bringing those more of choice from Japanese good equipment, I think if we can do this, and if Hong Kong people also can understand such kind of Japanese way of thinking, and then if we can create such kind of business platform, then one more important things, if we can think about some sustainable, create some profit even for them, like a Japanese food business, they would like to come to Hong Kong more. Hi.
Thank you very much. So on the end note, maybe we'll come to a conclusion slide.
Yeah. So as I already explained to you, I think Hong Kong can be the best market because of a small, we can utilize it very much. And also we have many support from Hong Kong government. And on the right side, you can see Invest Hong Kong, TDC, Science Park, and the LHCM, Hong Kong CSS. But most of the cases, unfortunately, in spite Invest Hong Kong, TDC promote and explain a lot about Hong Kong in Japan, most of the people do not know still yet. So how we can share some merit of doing business, and Hong Kong is a global partner for Japan, then we can also introduce them, guide them to the GBA business and the global business, and then can make more collaboration. They can also rely on us as a springboard for global business.
We really look forward to a new platform that can help us to get into the global market, because Hong Kong is really a special, very unique city. And I think all of the stakeholders in this industry are willing to explore on the GBA area, and also how to become a global player in terms of aged care.
Thank you.
Thank you. So next, thank you very much for Fujimoto-san's invaluable sharing. We will be moving on to the panel discussion together with our three guest speakers. May we also kindly ask the floor to submit any questions or comments you have. And meanwhile, I'll be facilitating a few questions with our three speakers. So all of our speakers today have talked about how Japan has entered into the super age society, but with the focus on person-centered care and how to really reimagine the future of aging with new customer experience. So my question is going to be, what do you think the future will be like for Hong Kong entering into the super age society? So each of the guests, I will be asking you a question. Fujimoto-san, in your view, you talked about the overall map of Hong Kong's technology development comparing with the Japanese. What challenges are you seeing in the Hong Kong market?
So as I said that, my view is only limited, and I still know Hong Kong very limited area. But Japan, of course, it's very kind of you that you just introduce and a good products and technology from Japan. However, also, as you know, Japan also struggling a lot. So, but behind this, the chart I showed you, like a total Hong Kong in the elderly map, and then like a business platform. Behind that, we have one more important things, how we can make it more sustainable, business model. The most of those cases, the biggest difference in Japan, we have long care, insurance system. So after the old people citizens in Hong Kong, in Japan, if you reach to 40 years old, all people citizens need to pay for that insurance premium. Then, therefore, I think the tax, in Japan is much more expensive than Hong Kong. But at the same time, after 65 years old, they can also enjoy the benefit of this. The burden for them a little bit less, feel like less. But in Hong Kong, we don't have a system. So how we can financially, operate this kind of flow to make more, innovative products for elderly people and to provide it without any long-term care insurance system. That's also, we need to think about that, financially, how we can support this kind of activities. I think that's my challenge.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Mr. Paul Ho, may I know how does water technology or bathing solutions play a role for improving quality of life for elders from Lixil's view? What are the trends in the future, would you believe?
I think that this is a very common view that the water scarcity is a worldwide problem. That means we have to control our usage of water. And I think that what Lixil do is we try to make a balance. On one hand, we want to provide more green product, water saving product, but we also concerned about the water enjoyment altogether. So just like what I said for our shower the bath, it make the balance. It make the shower like a bath. That means it control the volume of water daily, but it also provide you a bathing experience every day. And also it is, how to say, not only for the elderly, but also for all the family member. That means we respect everyone. That means it's a universal design rather than it is only for the elderly person. I think in Hong Kong, the people would not like to use something that it is marked as for elderly only, right? But if it is more is to help you and also to make your life easier, I think it is the trend in Hong Kong.
Thank you very much, Mr. Paul Ho. And Tian-san, I know that WHILL has a blueprint of the future when considering the last mile for people to connect with WHILL's technology. Can you tell us more about it? And how does WHILL think about the future of mobility?
Yes, so for the first question, how we actually treat ourselves, we actually think that the mobility is more like ecosystems instead of like a component or a device for people to use. So basically, I think it depends on a lot of like combination factors, including the government, including the corporates, and also sometimes we have to involve the NGO or the policymakers to be involved to create a relatively sustainable direction for people to just like have a balance between profit and also social benefits. So we actually treat ourselves from a product designer or a product developer to are more like a connector. So we want to actually bring our device from a hardware side to combination of hardware and software, and gradually to enhance ourselves with IoT systems, IoT technology, and autonomous driving things, and gradually to become a kind of like a solution or a kind of like a comprehensive solution provider to people who have difficulties in working, especially for people to enjoy the mobility indoor and outdoor. So we think that it's more like ecosystems for a lot of like counterparties to join, and not a single company can accomplish everything.
Thank you very much. It's a very good opportunity for us to reconsider about the ecosystem in Hong Kong. Looks like we have a few questions from the floor as well about this, because in Hong Kong, we always talk about the literacy of people, understanding drone technology. A lot of the users in Hong Kong are still unfamiliar with the use of drone technology, and they also think that their living space is small, so they cannot really accommodate these technologies. So this question, maybe each of you can address our floor. They have asked, even though technology can be a way to assist elders to have better living solution, However, we do have a limited living space and our end user is not well equipped to use the technology. So any suggestion for them to tackle this problem in Hong Kong?
Do you have any comments?
I think it's co-living. I think in somehow the co-living is all target is for the young people and also from the startup business, right? But actually, I think the co-living concept may be in today, we can also think about the elderly market because maybe for the limited space, because everyone want to have an individual apartment, but in somehow maybe today in Hong Kong with the hotel industry get worse, maybe I think that it will be a good idea for how to make the co-living for even for elderly people. And also they can care each other and also they can talk to each other. And I think that also they can also contribute to the society community by themselves. I think this is maybe a good idea.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will take it from here. So it's just my personal view on this one. I think we have to kind of like sometimes change our mindset to ownership, to the right of use. So definition of the right of use is that you have the right to use something, but you don't have necessarily own that. So it's actually something that we are picturing the future. As just put it, like in Hong Kong, maybe we have a very limited space or like a kind of like a personal room to put some devices. But the precondition for that is that we have to own our space or actually have to enjoy a lot of like, or we have to buy something and put it somewhere by ourselves. But sometimes we have to consider like whether or not it is necessary to really own something instead of like we enjoy the benefits of using that. So that's actually the idea for WHILL. This company is trying to kind of like start from the rental program, not encouraging people to use or purchase something directly, but to share or kind of like enjoy the right to use some equipment or devices. And gradually we see that maybe you can see our devices in a lot of like public spaces. And for those public spaces, that it's just like public traffic systems that you don't actually have to own a bus, you don't have to own a train, or you don't have to own a plane, but you actually have the right to use that. So this kind of like idea should be actually something that we can imagine for the future. So, so back to the topic of senior citizens, that do we necessarily like just like a design and put every device for a single person to use and for just like an exclusive usage? I don't think that is actually really necessary, but in the future, maybe we can actually share the resources together and use more efficiently. That's actually my personal idea.
Thank you.
I have a very similar idea with both gentlemen, especially I think a rental, is very, very I think effective. I think they don't have to buy everything by themselves. Even about the car recently in Japan, we have a car sharing system too. So I think to let them experience, and through their experience, we can also develop the technology and make it more easy to use it and let many people use it. So I think HKCSS also started this kind of trial, doing some rental business and also cleansing the equipment. This is also very important part. After their rental, they need that those equipment should be very cleansed very well before they use it. So this is also very important, I think so. So, and then, yeah.
Yes, indeed. I also agree with all of our panelists that increasing the confidence and capabilities for elders and the caregivers to age at home is very important. Therefore, education awareness is also important. Therefore, I would like to encourage everyone to also join the physical Golden Age Expo next week, because you will be able to really look and feel and try or experience all the different technology or services that may be given to you. by trying or speaking to different manufacturers, you may be able to understand more about the products. Also, I would like to take this opportunity to also let you all know that JETRO Hong Kong is actually also exhibiting in this year's GAES, and they will have 10 companies' products to Hong Kong elder care community. We also think that this may bridge the gap between the user experience and the demand. So we look forward to seeing you all joining our expo next week.
So Stephanie, please let me also talk about this.
Yes.
In Japanese society in Hong Kong, JETRO, and also we have a Chamber of Commerce, Japanese Chamber of Commerce. Those two, and then together with Japanese consulate, those three major entities always try to help those Japanese companies. So especially they are doing a very good job. So at the same time, I think if we can have more chance to collaborate with Hong Kong society, to do better, or like where they can show their their expertise or some strengths in Hong Kong society. That's the reason why, as I also showed you some Hong Kong map of elderly care, to let some new guys come from Japan understand. Then I think JETRO and Japanese Chamber of Commerce and Japanese consulate also, they are and also doing a very good job. So we really need to understand, need to know each other more. So I'm lucky to be here, but I'm just a small, and then I just talk about the small things and then introduce some Japanese part of the society. Yeah.
Thank you very much for inspiring us about the different resources that Hong Kong has to really integrate our solutions into the aging community. So next question that we have from the floor is that any possible examples that you can share about the use of technology of your products in Japan, especially the old and aging community. So applications of the products in Japan, if you could maybe say one or two examples of each of you.
Japanese application. What is the question?
Of your company's products on its application, in Japan. Is there any example that you can share with us? We can start with
EBITDA in just like what I said, in domestic market, Japan domestic market, over 90%. Even like the commercial area, maybe of course a long time ago we do not go to Japan, but when you go to the Japan airport, every airport in Japan, you will see that in their public toilet they were using the EBITDA, and also for the disabled one. So I guess because for I think 1 or 2 years ago, people rushed to buy like the toilet paper and also the mask, if we remember. So and that day, I think it will be happen again and again. I think this is what we call new normal in our life. So I think that maybe we think about to change our mindset, that maybe the toilet maybe not only using the traditional one thing, but of course to not for the elderly, but for the to improve your quality of life. This is what we want to introduce in Hong Kong, not only for elderly, but also for disabled and for some people in need.
Ken-san?
Yeah, I would like to save my time to more like a video to share with you that what kind of things that we are trying to do, except for the airporting application. So it will be a short one, less than 1 minute.
WHILL Autonomous Mobility Service provide a safe and convenient mobility solution for hospital visitors and patients and residents at healthcare facilities. The service is easy to use for anyone. Simply get on and select your destination. You will then be autonomously driven to the location. The collision avoidance feature reduces the risk of collisions with other people in the surrounding environment. You can get off when you arrive, at which point the service is complete. The device will autonomously drive itself back to the designated area. staff can have a real-time visual of where the devices are and the jobs they are executing. It will then park itself until the next trip. WHILL is proud to provide hospitals with safe and convenient mobility service for their visitors and patients.
Yes, so that's actually just the one example that we're trying to do, except for the board application. But I think as Fujimoto-san just put it, a technology in one country is just a very limited thing. How to just like apply that technology and combine with other markets' local demands and with local partners, and how to actually, especially improve that technology in certain specific market is the key for us in the future.
Tian, I have a question.
Go ahead, please.
So I think it's really great if with products, you know, your wheelchair, very advanced wheelchair, and then connected with, you know, IoT, and then use mobile phone. I think it's really great idea, but I have a question. Recently, I had a chance to see many videos about China, you know, some local area,
yes,
or some even Japan. The one with the difficulty, you know, we face also. I think, you know, they cannot use mobile phone so well, and then computer so well. So sometimes, yes, even like a, you know, e-commerce, I think, you know, if easy one like a Hong Kong TV one may be easier. But when it comes to the very complicated issue, especially in Japan, elderly people scared about some, you know, fraud or some mistake in mobile phone and fished by some other bad people. So therefore, they're scared sometimes to use a mobile phone, smartphone by themselves. So some people like need to stay with, you know, other, you know, phone, not smartphone. So they cannot enjoy some visual like this one. Then in that case, I think not only about your products, maybe we need to develop like a more voice recognitions. Then even those people, elderly people, but home, you know, can use that smartphone system connected with IoT based on like your wheelchair. But another things, Hong Kong people compared with Japanese people, I think very smart, and then can use, even elder people may be able to use that smartphone and a PC by themselves. So that means that Hong Kong, that's, you know, some of the, you know, merit and strengths of Hong Kong people. Then why don't we develop that kind of a new system, voice recognition connected with that kind smartphone to like a last some distance to let them enjoy more benefit of those products too. I think I always think about it recently. Thank you.
Yes. Fujimoto-san, I'm actually quite excited about your question. This is actually the problem we're facing right now, especially in Japan, but actually also in China right now. So as you put it, using a smartphone is one way to use our device. But if we can actually use the like voice recognition, and well, I give you an example. In China, how the current payment systems works. Right now, like people can actually just like scan their face to make the payment without using the cell phone, right? So that's actually exactly happening in China, and especially for senior citizens, for old people that without the cell phone, but if, for example, their parent or their children help them register like a payment account in the cell phone. And when they actually have the data of their face, so when they go out, and when they're using kind of like some machine, and that machine will recognize their face. So when they're actually choosing the online payment without using the cell phone, just scanning the face, they actually can make a payment by themselves. No, like no use or no relying on kind of like the cell phone itself. So it's easier for them to process this kind of like a new way of living, like entering the modern life for elderly.
Yeah, I really agree with you.
Actually,
So Tian and Paul, I think, don't you think that, if we can provide such kind of some method to let those golden age people enjoy and show their expertise, show their knowledge, and then share with other young people, I think they can be proud and then become more energetic.
Exactly. Yes.
So
I'm
thinking of always that how we can develop that kind of interface. Elderly people and the golden age people has a lot of experience to share with younger people. How we can let them do and then enjoy the life and then let them have some dignity. That's if we can do this, I think that's really great.
Thank you so much for your sharing. I believe that after this seminar, we may be able to see some new products interface and development, maybe a 2.0 in our next, next year's summit, or the future that we can see from your new innovations. So lastly, I would like to address some of the comments from the floor after the sharing, which was very inspiring. Some of the comments said that, I wonder if it is feasible to advocate the Gerontech voucher to Hong Kong government so that the elderly and carers can use the funding to hire the equipment. So, and of course, this should also depend on the market's maturity of the Gerontech equipment, either by renting or procurement. Suppose more elderly can live in the community with the support of this equipment. In that case, we can save a tremendous social cost of institutionalization in emergency medical care for the elderly injured from the domestic accidents. This is one of the comments. And also, one of the comments proposed that Mr. Tianye's wheelchair can be discussed with the HKCSS or the Housing Authority to to put at the different blocks of the housing estates in Hong Kong for the elderly with walking disabilities, and borrow them for going to and from the market or clinic, so that they can have a short distance mobility aid within their estate. So these are some of the comments we got from the floor. Thank you very much for your comments and questions. As a wrap up, I would like to say thank you for all our speakers' inspiring speeches today and our discussion. And after this panel discussion, I think all of us in Hong Kong are amazed by the foresight and actions the Japanese has taken to tackle the aging population. Thank you once again to our three speakers today, and please give them a round of applause.
Thank you.
Now, we are not only having more confidence, but hope for bridging a new platform for Japan and Hong Kong to reimagine the future of smart aging. For Hong Kong, we do not need to start from zero, starting from scratch. We can learn from the Japanese experience, and we know that we have our close counterparts who we can learn from and count on. I'm sure that GAF will make continuous efforts to connect different stakeholders in the field, similar to our theme this year: smart aging, innovation, sustainability, and inclusion. So to end this session, we will have a polling for everyone. There will be 4 questions on the screen. Your opinion will be valuable to us. Thank you very much. And don't forget, our physical expo event at HKCEC will start from next Friday to Sunday. We will also have a poster shortly for you all so that you can refer to our physical event. May I wish everyone good health, and we hope to see you all again next time. Thank you for tuning in with us today. May I wish you all a great evening today. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.